Welcome back to Steel and Vance. This is a tough one. This is about the toxic drug crisis. This is about losing a loved one, losing a son, and a family who have been struggling for years to get action on something that we peripherally report upon and talk about and feel badly about. And yet this is lived experience that is almost unimaginable, all too imaginable for too many.
Well, let's set the scene, because we've had over 10,000 people in this province lose their lives because of the toxic drug supply. And I remember having the Prime Minister in the studio at CKNW and doing an interview with him and said, have you been to the downtown east side? Have you talked to anybody who is a drug user? What are you doing about this? And he kind of fumbled around, well, we're blocking pill pressers or something. Now, this is a massive public crisis.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are wondering why government can't do something about it on the scale of the pandemic.
7 years.
Pushing in a couple $100 billion, whatever it takes.
Yeah, 7 years of this awful, awful trend of people dying daily. And our next guests have an anniversary that marks the loss of their son.
Yeah, we're talking 6 years ago this week. Ryan Hedican lost his life, and his parents are joining us from Courtenay right now. John and Jennifer Hedican, thank you so much. And really, I just want to say our condolences, because I can't imagine what it's like. And I know a lot of people, if they don't have this touching their lives anyway, they make assumptions about people who use drugs. So can we start by just getting you to tell us a little bit about Ryan? What kind of a person was he?
Ryan was the oldest of our three children. He was incredibly funny, very intellectual, loved to read. He was our IT guy, very active, involved in all sorts of sports. There's Ryan. He was the oldest brother to a sister and another brother. Sorry.
That's okay. That's
Jennifer,
okay.
it's gotta be gut-wrenching. John, I mean, how were you doing this week?
It's a very tough week. Like a lot of other weeks in the year, there's Mother's Day, Father's Day, there's Christmas, there's always something, a family reunion where we no longer gather as a complete family. So it's not 1 week, it's 12 months of the year, and it's every day of the year. And to make matters worse, it's an insult, it's disrespect, it's so many things to the families like ours and the families tomorrow that have lost a loved one, to see our political system fail so badly to address a crisis that can be addressed, and votes are valued over lives. Otherwise, we would have it figured out, because we've figured out pandemics, we've figured out so many other crises. But we have politicians that do not have the capacity and are limited to party policy and the net gain of votes. And it's evidence, or we wouldn't have 30, 25 people dying a day in our country and 30,000 that have lost their lives. And it's disgusting.
Take us back. I can't even imagine how frustrated you must be to watch this many years later that so little has been done meaningfully to help other families, to protect families from what you have endured here. But take us back to those weeks leading up to the toxic drug supply taking your son from you. What was done, what wasn't done, what might you do differently, or what would you have the government do differently, knowing what you know today?
It's a massive problem, and it's a complex problem, but it starts with the prohibition of drugs, and it's like the Titanic, and we have to turn the Titanic, because the prohibition of drugs is directly responsible for 30,000 deaths in this country, because it ensures organized crime is the sole provider of toxic drugs. So we can fund as many recovery beds as we want to fund, which are badly needed.
It's not done.
But it's not done. And at the end of the day, over 90% of the people that go into recovery will relapse. And when they relapse, it's not a planned event. It happens. So when Ryan spent 8 months of recovery and went back to work as a third-year electrician, he relapsed on his job site. And the only place for him to go was to organize crime. It's a normal component of the disease of addiction. And we allow organized crime to fill that prescription. We don't do that to cancer patients or any other disease. And this is not acknowledged by our political parties and our political system. They are refusing to acknowledge reality.
Well, and let me ask you, Jennifer, this, because we are moving tiny little baby steps towards safe supply in BC. It's not fast enough. It's not accessible enough. But what do you say to people who go, okay, but if we're going to make meth and heroin and cocaine and what have you,
decriminalized,
right, and that you can get a prescription. What do you say to someone who's fearful of creating another generation of people who are drug users?
I would say I understand their fear.
Yeah.
And that fear of somebody being an addict is, many people live with addictions in their lives. But science has shown, history has shown, the more prohibited you make something, the more dangerous it becomes. We could even look at abortion being banned. It's going to be more dangerous now to have unwanted pregnancies. It's been shown with alcohol, when it was prohibited, it's more dangerous. And so without acknowledging that human behavior has us involved in all sorts of choices, just because a substance is available to me doesn't mean I'm going to take it. But I'm not going to die from it if I do. I mean, right. I saw a headline that was not even a minute talking about a 12 and a 13-year-old that died of toxic drug use maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
If it had been a clean supply, if it had been what they got from their parents' alcohol liquor cabinet, they would have been alive. People in our generation, when they use substances, they might not have felt well.
Right.
They didn't die from it. This is literally killing people. And the toxicity, somebody explained it to me, is that, and Ryan talked about this as well, that he would get drug sick, right? Dope sick, because your body cycles through and down, up and down. And that when the substance is clean, then it can sustain you for this long. And now, because there's so many other substances in it, you are forever cycling in and out through the day. We wonder why crime has increased, because these people are poisoned. It's not because of the substance that they're taking, it's because the substance that they're taking is poison.
Right.
I don't know if you guys know the Portugal model very well, but they showed how well people can be that are functioning, contributing people to society when the substance they need are clean. So, I mean, I would say I completely understand the fear. I didn't want my child to be a drug user.
Right. So I wanted, we're short on time and so long on questions, and we're so grateful for you sharing your story, because the takeaway for so many watching, including myself, parents who want to protect their children, want to protect their partners, their loved ones. What is the big lesson here? What is the takeaway for somebody who knows that there's addiction in their family right now? What kind of advice might you give them? Is forcing people into treatment a good idea? Was Ryan looking to go to treatment?
He was in treatment.
But did
right?
he want to go?
Twice.
Was he actively looking?
Yes. Oh, he did not want to be an addict. It broke his heart to be an addict.
The first time it was our idea. The second time it was Ryan's. And the reality, there's so many realities we don't talk about. As I said, when people go into recovery, their tolerance level goes down and they are going to relapse. Over 90% will relapse. So actually, Ryan spending 8 months in recovery increased his chances to die. His tolerance was back to zero, and he had a 90% chance he was going to relapse. So that reality is never mentioned by politicians.
I just want to give the last 30 seconds to either of you. What do you want to say to Premier David Eby?
I want you to acknowledge reality, Dave. And the reality is that our federal drug policy 100% supports organized crime as the sole provider of toxic drugs. Safe supply does not address all users. We will always have users. We don't have a choice. We have to acknowledge reality and deal with it. I wish there was no drugs on this planet and no alcohol. It would be better off. But that's not reality. So we have to control reality.
Jennifer, John, go ahead, Jennifer, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that the images that are shown are the downtown east side. That is a fingertip.
Yeah.
It's like the tip of the iceberg of who the actual substance users are. 85% of the people that die from substance use, toxic drug crisis, has been indoors.
Yeah.
It is not, and so there's so much people still have to learn, and we're not using science to tackle the problem. They are using shame. And so I would love to see science be used to address.
We used a 12-step program 85 years ago. Stop doing.
Right, let's punctuate that point that you just made there, Jennifer, of how it is not a downtown east side problem. It's a worldwide problem, and it's a toxic drug supply problem. And using alone is the Russian roulette of today. That's the reality of today.
Yeah.
So let's finish on this point for now. Would like to revisit this with you to see if you get any response, and we thank you for sharing such a difficult story and being so open to helping others.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
That is a couple of parents in Courtenay, John and Jennifer Hedican. Their son Ryan passed away from the toxic drug crisis 6 years ago.
6 years. Look
this
at that.
week.
Look at that face. Didn't want to be an addict.
Tough.
Just, we're going to stay on that story. And interesting to feel the human piece of the statistics.
Yeah.
Because these record numbers of more people dying every day, 7 families like Jennifer and John.
Every day.
Every day. Let's go to break. We'll be back.
Yeah.